Beeville, B County Commissioners had a different kind of audience at their specially called meeting today. They decided to take their agenda on the road, and the setting was the A.C. Jones High School Auditorium. They also invited students from a court system class at the high school to sit in on the meeting, along with students from nearby Coastal Bend College. The goal was for the students to learn the ins and outs of the Commissioners' Court, as the commissioners discussed everything from repairing streets to managing taxes.
Well, this was our first actually meeting that we've ever been to, so it was kind of interesting to see how everything really works out, and I actually learned a lot too.
B County Judge Stephanie Moreno told us it was exciting to see the students there, and in fact, she was glad to see they were really interested in what county officials do on a daily basis.